Gorgar! Hello everybody, test 1 2 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2 1 2.
Gorgar! Hello everybody, test 1 2.
It works, alright. I'm gonna play me some Gorgar! Playing me some pinball, love me some pinball. So hard to find a good working order pinball machine anymore that this is about the best I can get. Still move around like I'm playing the real thing. I had a version on the old Wii. Probably liked it a little better just because of I liked having the nunchuck and the remote control. I could space my hands out closer to what they would be on an actual machine. Anyway, this Gorgar, this is one of the first pinball machines, digital machines I played growing up, where I was actually fairly good at it. I forget how to play this, but hoping it'll come back with me. I tell you, the physics, the people that put these collection of pinball games together have really done a great job. I mean, the work on the tables looks legit, but when you're playing it, it actually feels like you're playing a pinball machine. The physics with the ball bouncing around and bouncing off the bumpers and everything, I mean, credit to the folks that put this game together. They actually, you could tell that they had a love for pinball, and they really put their heart and soul into it. It's very impressive. You can even, even got the sound, if you listen, you can hear the ball rolling over the wood table. Now this was still in earlier tables. Its claim to fame in the history was it was the first digital table to talk. Limited to words. That's sort of its claim to fame. That and a very colorful table. A little bit of a evil theme to it. That's not good. That's not terrible, but hey, So anyway, I'm gonna try it again. Play one more game of this, and then I'll go on to some other stuff. Alright. Now you can hear the ball from the wood really good up there. I've always, like I said, I always liked playing pinball against people. It was always, there were multiplayer games. A lot of video games were, single player, especially early on or later on. I found pinball, to be a better multiplayer game than a lot of video games. And there we go. You can hear it over the wood again. And said I'll play anybody a game of pinball. You give me a good pinball game, I'll play it all day long. I only have one request. I just request that whoever I play plays pinball like a man, and I'll explain what that is here in just a moment. Even the ladies, I insist they play pinball like a man. Alright. And what I mean about playing like a man is that you generally use the flippers you want, or in combination, to get to where you want. I've always been annoyed by people that play a pinball machine, and all they can do is that right there. Probably ain't politically correct, but when I was younger, I called that playing sissy style. I hate people that's the only way they can move the flippers. There's times to do that, and you'll see me do this a lot. But, oh my goodness, I don't know why, I just can't. If you ever want to get under my skin, play me a game of pinball, and use the flippers like that. Oh! So you can't even shake. You can even shake the table a little bit. You can actually tilt the table too. Something that's always fun. Let me see if I can find another table here. I've only had this particular version a few days, so I really haven't played all the tables yet. So let me back up and we'll try some other ones. Ooh, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Arabian Nights and Taxi. I remember playing both of those. Didn't play that one too much in the arcade, but it ain't bad. I ought to try playing that Star Trek on YouTube just to see if they flag me for copyright infringement on the theme song. This was a very popular game back in the day. None of my local arcades had it, but I did play it here and there when I had a chance. This game had a lot going on. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Said a lot of the games I haven't played in a long time, so I sort of forget what you're supposed to do in what order. And quite honestly, I probably don't spend enough time trying to knock down the flags, things of that sort. I just need to take the time and read through the instructions that come with these games to figure out how best to attack them. And some of these newer games, which I didn't get to play too much, you know, it's more than just hitting the ball around. There's actually a story and things you need to do in a certain order. And there was a good opportunity to use two flippers at once. So there are times where that works.
Ball 2 is locked.
So obviously this is a multi-ball game. I love multi-ball pinball. I loved multi-ball pinball growing up. You know, it still gives me a thrill when I get multi-ball on these things. Oh! Oh, I hate it when that happens. Hurry, hurry. Extra ball at 8 million. As you can see, I haven't played these enough where I'm any good at them anymore. There were times when I was going to Wright State University. In particular, they had a pinball machine. I think it was called High Speed, if I remember right. I'd go to a pizza place that we called the Rat. Oh, here we go, multi-ball. All I do with multi-ball is look at my flippers, and when a ball comes nearby, I hit them. That's how I worked multi-ball. I didn't worry about everything else going on, because you do that, it'll distract you. I never liked it when I got multi-ball, two balls on the same flipper at once. That multi-ball didn't last too long. Uh-oh! I saw that coming. But anyway, that high-speed game, if we get done eating lunch, you know, I'd have about half hour, an hour before I had to go back to my next class. I'll play this one more time. And so I'd put a quarter or 2 quarters in the high-speed pinball machine. You know, I got pretty good at that machine. Won a lot of extra balls, got a lot of free games, specials. In fact, I noticed then after playing that for a month or two, I noticed that about the time for me to get back to classes, that the same people would be showing up in the arcade. Well, the reason they were doing that is that it wasn't uncommon for me to walk away to go to class and have 8 or 9 free games on the freaking machine. So I sort of got, people learned, hey, he's got to leave. He'll leave all these games on here. If we come here this day, we can play for free. Seldom have ever had that same favor come back at me, but I did that real well. I think we had Taxi at one point there too, and I did all right at that. Not as good as the High Speed, but it was a good game.
The 40 Thieves.
Oh! Oh, the humanity. But I did that during my whole time at Wright State, that little arcade, and I seldom played the arcade games there. I generally played the whatever pinball machine they had there. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Now that game showed some promise for a little while. Terrible. Alright, let me see. Maybe I'll try a game I haven't... Whoops. Sorry, I probably just bopped you out there. I'm back into my tables. Black Hole. Black Knight. I remember playing Black Knight somewhere. I don't think I was ever really very good at it, but I remember playing it. Let's try it again. As you can see, you got the ramps, you got a lot going on. I think I probably played this one because of the ramps. It was just something, when I first got exposed to this, having ramps of this kind were pretty rare, plus to having multiple flippers on multiple stages, sort of almost like 2 tables, was just something new to me, and it's probably what drawed me to the game. But if you look at it, there's a whole lot of empty board space at the bottom, and though I like this game, I don't think this is one I'd play for hours on end because it's too bare. Now, when I started playing pinball, when I was young, the pinball machines were very old. They were mechanical. You didn't have the digital readouts and the digital noise. It was your old school clangety clang clang type of machines. I was never very good at them, but I always enjoyed them. Talking. Gotta love talking pinball machines. Good old Elvira. Funhouse is a classic. Gorgar. We'll try Ripley's. This is a Stern machine. I don't think I played too many Stern machines over the years. I probably, most of the ones I were exposed to were probably Midway and Ballot games. Now this is season 1. There's a season 2 you can still find on DVD. The Midway games you got to get on DVD because the license ran out for them and they took them off all the online play, unfortunately. But after Gorgar came and went, the next machine I played and got pretty good at was Firepower. and I want my firepower, so I will probably buy
It's time to visit Australia.
the Season 2 discs.
Boomerangs, an incredible weapon. A roller skating penguin.
So I will probably, like I said, get that Season 2. Then I got Gorgar and Firepower and Arabian Nights and Taxi, and I'll have enough, I'll have about 50, 60 tables. And that'll be enough probably to have a go-to pinball game to play. Now, one thing I did...
It's not plugged in yet, man.
Now, the one thing about...
That's so weird, man.
Strange things in Africa.
There you go.
Break the magic
Now,
code.
one of the weird things about digital pinball replications is it's just getting the angle right with games and getting a good view. You know, I think when you're actually playing a real machine and it's all right underneath there over you, you can sort of move your eyes around and things. This sort of tries to do it for you.
It's time to visit South America.
And don't like it quite as well.
I love collecting these.
Now some people would lean into the glass almost when they played pinball. I would do that sometimes. This sort of gives you that view if you're sort of leaning over and moving your head up and back the table. That's sort of what this is trying to duplicate. It does okay.
No matter where you go,
There we go.
you are.
No matter where you go, there you go. There. That was a deep comment. Alright. Ooh, taxi. Alright. Alright, and it's got like the zoom in view. Oh yeah, there we go. And it's got little sounds. I think it's the same guy that did Gorgar. He did a lot of the pinball machines. This is a Williams table, as you can see there on the right. As you can see, you move your one flipper, the letters, lit up letters up top move. And that got to be a big thing that I liked, because I did more pinball machines. I liked it when you could advance the lanes, put a little more challenge into it. I thought, or a little more skill, just being aware of what you needed, and like see, you had to move you had to make sure you moved the one that wasn't lit to where you wanted it. Uh-oh. I collected a joyride, whatever that is. Uh-oh. There you go. What'd I get that time? Oh, the humanity. So like I had a special lit up. Playing pinball, I don't know if there's anything better than getting that special and getting that clang sound. Yeah, like I said, I played this one a few times, but again, it was never in a place where I frequented and put in a bunch of quarters. So it's not one I ever got good at, but it's something I might play on here. I like the ramps and how they return to the lanes. You can really pick up a lot of speed. That's always good on a table. I enjoy that. Like I said, I started out playing pinball where you had the old clangety clang clang machines. You put in a quarter, one quarter, and you would get 2 games. That was marvelous. Well, you know, video games came around, and that obviously was the end of that. It became 1 game for a quarter. Then it moved from 5 balls to 3 balls. Then it moved from a quarter to 50 cents for 3 balls. Really saw a lot of inflation on tables. Now, this was one I tried to play. I'll play it once here, and I never got good at it. And again, it was one where you know, I ran into it, but I didn't get the Colib. Look at that. You know, I didn't get to play it a whole lot. Now, you know, this does have a cool factor because, hey, look how many freaking flippers you got. And you see those ones in the middle, well, those are actually down below. So there is a way to get your ball down on the lower level, and you would actually play it down there. Now, I don't remember how you do that. And I don't know if I'll even luck onto it while I'm playing it here. Probably not. If you look at the side lanes here, you know, a lot of empty space on those side lanes. A lot of ways for that ball to drop down and be out of play. I hate that. I like your traditional 2 lanes on the side. But that was black. I'll play it one more time. Now see, this does not have lane advance. There we go. That's how you do it. It actually went down below the grass. You know, when I first saw that when I first ran across that was like one of the coolest things ever. And it was cool, but it never, I don't know, it's just, the rest of the gameplay just wasn't there for me. But it was pretty cool. I remember there being a Pac-Man game. It was a pinball machine, and then it actually had a video game component with it too. Played that a few times. Was never any good at it. Whoa! That's what I get for not paying attention. You might notice when I play, I do a lot of this. I sort of like the catch the ball, so to speak. Then try to aim it. Some games I got really good at. I mentioned I like the game firepower. The firepower, you had a whole bunch of, a bunch of the flags to knock down to spell out firepower. So it was always nice to have that ability to capture the ball, and you could aim towards, the targets and things you needed to hit to try to advance your scores and such. And or you might be playing multi-ball and whoops, that was weak. You might be playing multi-ball and you're trying to get to multi-ball and you need to get it in a certain part of the board, a little capture port, whatever, and being able to stop it and aiming was a big deal. So you'll see me, I do a lot of that, and that's just from catching the ball like that so often. I'm sure there's some people out there that said you should never catch a ball too, and that's all right. If you're wondering, my name's Thomas. I'm playing pinball. I let very few people call me Tommy, but I do like the song Pinball Wizard. I've watched the movie made of the musical. It's a little weird, but the music in it is great. So I do watch it quite a bit. The older I get, the more deaf, dumb, and blind I seem to be. So maybe I'll be like Tommy before I'm all said and done. This ball's lasted a while, which is great, but I'll be honest, I really don't know what I'm doing. I don't know this table well enough. There actually is a strategy to most pinball machines, more than just hitting it around. But it's fun just to hit them around when you don't know and see what you stumble across. You can play. I mean, I've had games on pinball take a half an hour, 40 minutes. Never had that much luck with video games. A couple that would get close. There was a video game we had it up at the gas station in Laura growing up. It was called Vanguard. And I got really good at that. I got pretty good at that video game, and I could play for an hour and a quarter most times. Oh, wow. Here at the house, sort of got a custom. I want my kids to have no doubt who's got the score on the scoreboards. And unlike The Simpsons, my kids do not call me Tom or Homer. It is Dad. Or they call me Father if they want it, but I just don't see that ever happening. Alright. One more, then I'll call it quits and we'll take a break, and I'll come back in a few minutes with one of my favorite video games, which I'm starting to relearn. Oh, Elvira, I tell you, either you loved her or you didn't. I suppose I understand her charms, but never too much into Elvira. Not my type, I guess. Ah! Should've shook the table. Ooh, that's got a good shake to it. Now, I'm sure Elvira was paid for her likeness and such for this game. It'd be interesting to know how much she made. In fact, they actually had a second Elvira. She actually had a couple of pinball tables in her day. Oh, the good old match. Oh! If anybody don't know what a match was at the end of the game, if your final 2 digits ended up on a certain number, if you matched, you won a free game. Here we go. 1 play for 50 cents, 2 plays for 75 cents, 3 plays for $1. You know, I probably did the game like that. I'd probably do the 50 cents most times, because they, you know, Mom, can I have $1? You know. So, oh, I didn't want to put my whole dollar into one machine, you know, because sometimes you get a machine and you go to play it, and either the flippers would be weak or the bumper board's hardly bumped, and yeah, or you'd have one that the ball just always went down the middle. Or aimed that way sometimes. When I was looking at maybe playing a new pinball machine, another thing I would look at was the space between the flippers. Now that ain't too terribly bad there. When they're both down, you can see there's quite a bit of space on this one. I tend to like the flippers that were a little closer together. I never cared for, there are a few pinball machines out there that Whirlwind comes to mind. Had a little wheel in the middle there that would sort of spin, so your ball would come down while that's spinning and it would shoot off in all kinds of crazy directions. I never cared for that either. Now there were some that had magnets that would capture the ball and hold it, and that kind of, I sort of like. Or you could activate the magnets and it would steer your ball away from things. Now I did like those. Again, this is a game I've played once or twice, so I really don't know what I'm doing. I'll be honest, I'm just hitting the ball to see what would happen. Oh, the humanity. Will I match? No, I didn't match. Terrible. Alright, well, I'm going to get out of Pinball World and go to one of my favorite. Get out of here. You might lose me for a moment. I'm still new. You got table packs here. You can go and you can buy these things. As you can see, Haunted House was a very popular one. These are all Galebes, because like I said, the Midway and Bally license expired. Rescue 911. I played that one growing up. I might end up buying that one at some point. Galebe Pack 3. Whoops. Never bought that. Hello. Never played that one. There you go. Here's an old mechanical one. I might come back and try that one. Listen to these things. Look at that. You can play the trial version. Now the trial version, you know, you only usually get to play to a certain score or something like that. Basically, they let you play just enough to tease you. Alright, well, there you go. What does that one say? So. This is an old mechanical thing. And a lot of the mechanical ones had a lot of space between the flippers too. And you could shake these and actually do some harm. There wasn't much to the old pinball machines, to be honest. This is probably one of the first ones to have 3 flippers, I bet. And boy, when you hit those little bumpers there on an old-fashioned mechanical, man, you could see sparks flying from them sometimes. I haven't seen that replicated in these, but you'd see sparks jumping off the bumpers and things. I always thought that was cool as a youngin'. Now imagine a room filled with this, ding, 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 a sort of lot like being in an old casino with the slot machines, and the money going out, ding, 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 ding. Whoops. You can really hear the ball over the wood on these older ones. Oh, this one had 4 flippers, sorry. How you doing, sicko? Alright, well folks, I'm going to wrap it on up. I'll come back in a little bit, show you one of my favorite video games from the old days. I'll talk to you a little bit later.
What do you want? Ow.
Where's the... Is that stop broadcast?